To get back, I be focused on my focus, it's time to shut it down. Couple rat packs go up, nigga, it's going down. They don't check us at the door, don't play around. You gon' make us have to shut this shit down. I'm like, we came to shut it 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 down. Nah, I don't need no help.
Shout out to the real man. Thank you guys for coming on. How you guys doing?
We straight, we good. How are you?
I'm chilling. I'm happy to be here. Like I told y'all before, man, I don't know if I told y'all in past. I was watching y'all from, I was on a run in the city, man. So I was always following y'all. So to have y'all here is a manifestation for me. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we appreciate
that. But
appreciate that.
So let's get into it, man. How was the pandemic for y'all?
Oh my God. Wait.
Productive and lucrative.
Right.
yeah, I know for business. I'm not just talking about for business, but how did y'all with the pandemic, with the quarantine? How did y'all? Because a lot of couples done fell during the quarantine. So
now
how did y'all do?
We had a ball. I don't even
have a big enough house. have enough space.
Mm-hmm.
Be able to, you know, sometimes you need your own space. Have enough space to be able to respect each other's space and give each other time. But then also utilize that time to spend time together that you didn't have before.
Mm-hmm. So being that y'all are both busy, y'all both business people, y'all both got a lot of businesses. And I'm gonna keep it on a relationship real quick before I get right over to all the financial and all the money stuff. But how do y'all keep things spicy, man? Being together a long time. Y'all still young. Y'all got a lot of business. How do y'all keep things going? Because I'm busy and I don't really got time to have sex at this age. So how do y'all keep things going, man? How do y'all keep the love romantic spark?
You say you don't have time. You don't make time to have sex?
I mean, as I get older, now I do. I'm talking about the romance part. We talking about the romance part. The romance.
Listen,
we ain't talking about just sticking it in.
That's
right.
That's just in you. Like for some people, you just gotta. Some people have to apply that to cater to somebody. But for some people, that's just like, when it's real, that should just be organic. You know?
And what do you mean apply that?
When you might have a dude trying to attract a woman, so he's going to do things that he thinks she likes. As opposed to when somebody's for you, it's just organic to do those things. You know, you just want to see them happy.
Right.
It just brings that out of you.
All right, I feel what you're saying. So what did y'all do? Y'all play games? Did y'all go on dates?
Oh, shit.
We definitely went on dates.
We do that all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, so y'all still keep it spicy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
12 years knowing each other, still keep it spicy. Let's take it back. So you guys was in
14. 14
years. Cases together, right?
No.
Nope.
So tell us what happened.
Perception a lot of people have. 2 separate situations.
Yeah, because
my situation
at first. So tell people what happened a little bit.
Well, my situation was basically wrong place, wrong time, getting caught up with the wrong individual. And I always tell my husband, I believe that was my karma for getting away with a lot of shit that I didn't get indicted or convicted or got in trouble for. So I bit the bullet because my crime was you know, not following my intuition, not following my gut, being greedy, and just basically being around the wrong person. I should have known better. So my situation was totally different than my husband's situation. My husband was actually on the run while I had caught my charge.
Right.
And go ahead, I'll let him finish.
Basically, because she caught her situation, it allowed them to find me. I don't get married, so follow her. You know that. So, yeah.
So that means like you got on the radar.
Right.
Yeah.
So what they catch you up for, if you don't mind speaking about it?
Who, me? Money laundering.
Money laundering.
Yeah.
All right. So now you go to prison. You're
Yep.
pregnant. You had a kid, right? You had the kid already, right?
No, I was pregnant while he went in, and I miscarried the baby.
All right.
We do have a son. We have a son. He is 13 now. But at the time that I caught my case, I believe Christian was about 4.
4 years old, yeah.
He was about 4 years old.
3 or 4. 3 or 4.
Three or 4, you're 4 years old. Yeah, about 4. 4
So,
years old.
so when you was in jail, so how did y'all? So was it rough? How was those years? 'Cause I've been in prison before, of course,
That
and I
was the
know how it is
that was
on a
the hard part for
relationship.
me.
And I want to know how it is for a woman with the man
Oh
on the
yeah, that's
outside.
different. Let her tell you. Yeah.
Oh, while I was out in the world and he was away, first of all, let's be very clear. Before he went in, he made sure he put me in a financial situation where I know not only had the business that we already built for the last couple of years, but he left me with the philanthropy slash I would call a hospitality type of business
Mhm.
for veterans and formerly incarcerated people. He had already been in that lane already.
Maybe talking about when you went away. You're
Yeah,
talking.
when you
No,
went
he
away.
said, when I went
Yeah,
away.
yeah, because I'm a man, so I know how it is. We get in there. We're gonna get into that. But a lot of people don't know how it is for a woman to be in jail in a relationship with a man. Because we hear the stories, women in there by themselves. So this is one
Oh,
case.
nah, he didn't listen. I'll be honest with you, and I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. He didn't miss a visit. I think maybe one visit he might have missed it, probably while I was on some bullshit. But he came. You know how you get points in the feds?
Mhm.
You get 13 points. I think he maxed all my points out every time, every visit.
Mhm.
Thanksgiving, he was there. The day after Thanksgiving, he was there. Christmas, he was there. New Year's Eve, he was there. He made sure he brought my son and he made those visits.
Mhm.
It was interesting though. Is when you go visit a female in the feds, it's not like when you go visit us, the visit won't be back. When you go
Mhm.
visit a female, there was like one other dude there to visit his wife. The rest was all like parents bringing the kids. No dudes were in there visiting females, period.
Yeah.
And I was there
Yeah,
every
I
week.
figured that. That's why I wanted to know how did that work out. Did y'all
Like
get
dudes
conjugals
really
and
leave
stuff?
females that.
Now, in the federal government, you don't get conjugal visits.
All right, you don't get none of that stuff. So, how long you
No.
was gone? How long you was away?
Well, I was away for almost a year. But
Mhm.
in Danbury for the feds, I was gone for up to 5 months in there.
Mhm.
So it still doesn't matter. Like my man, listen, put it this way. Our lifestyle is the way it is. And if anything had happened while I was away, he was given permission to do what he needed to do to take care of himself.
Mhm. Yeah, that's how y'all rolling.
Well, I
Listen,
mean, it's a
that's
logical, it's a logical situation.
not.
Mhm. And when you was in there, you know what I'm saying? You was in there with females. Was
Right.
anything going on?
Nah, too
Now,
short
I
of a
heard that
time
you
to
was
get caught up.
you was roommates with Teresa. How was that experience?
Well, Teresa was actually my roomie for like maybe a month, and then after that, I had already left.
Mhm.
Um, Teresa was cool. I mean, listen, the first day she came in, I gave her a maxi pad, and I had to tell her, wipe the tears off, and here's the maxi pad. Take that shit off your face. I know you did press and everything, but we gotta, you came in, you shifted me out of my rest. We'll talk in the morning. I'm gonna help you with the commissary, and I'm gonna help you with the TV situation. And I did. I
Mhm.
navigated her. I navigated her through the commissary clerk. I made sure her shit was together. I taught her how to use the phone. She was straight.
Oh, that's a cool ass experience, man. So that people that don't know, we talking about the housewives, Teresa. Teresa's Gudis, whatever her name is. I never could pronounce the last
Judice.
name. So fast
Judice.
forward, so y'all got all of these businesses. So when you went to jail, you had businesses, right? You was a paralegal at one time, right?
Yeah, I was a paralegal before I even opened up my firm.
And this is important for the people to know. We're talking about for the regular moms, for the regular people. A lot of people struggling in the pandemic. A lot of businesses been formed in the pandemic. So you was a paralegal, and then what happened?
Well, obviously I caught the federal case, and with paralegal, I was already in school. I was in school to obtain my law degree. And I remember thinking that maybe I gave them enough time when I had got booked with the county time. But no, it don't work like that. It works with point system. It works with your leadership role. And obviously that wasn't going to work. So what we thought we was going to get, like home confinement, it didn't work out. So I had to withdraw.
Mhm.
And I remember the day like it was yesterday. I couldn't believe it. I was like, yo, we really got to withdraw from school. And I had to go up there and withdraw. And I just was like, why do I need a degree to pretty much tell me how to navigate through the system? I have over 20 years experience as a paralegal. I was a loan officer for Dime Savings Bank, which was one of the most biggest bank firms out, banking institutions. I said, what would be the sense of that? And then you have, you got to have your partner. Your partner's telling you, listen, why are you worried about that? Do what you need to do and get busy.
Mm-hmm. So that's what happened, and the rest is history. So, H, let me ask you something. So you
What's
had
up?
accumulated business. You went you got homeless shelters.
Mm-hmm.
How does somebody get into that type of business? Is it nonprofit, or is it?
Oh, no. It's for profit.
It's for profit.
Let's be clear on that. The reason I'm for profit is
Tell me.
because when you're non-for-profit, you have to follow certain guidelines, and now the government really controls how you allocate your funds because you're taking funds from them. I don't take funds from them, so I do what I want with my money.
So yours is private.
Yeah. So because you got to look at it like this. You and I both know the system. We can't rely on the system that's designed to oppress us, to uplift us. So yeah, they may offer programs and things that appear to help people, but the way these programs are designed, they really don't help. They keep people caught up in the system. So if you want to do something different and something that's really going to affect change, you have to do it on your own dime. This way, you can't be confined by the guidelines that's going to keep you on that wheel or keep people wrapped up in that system.
So your business is you fund your homeless shelter by yourself. There's no government interaction. You don't have to get permission or get the rules or certain guidelines you got to follow for them. Nothing.
I mean, there are housing guidelines, and that's just for safety purposes. But other than that, no.
All right, we talk
and we
about
implement programs that are things that we know are needed in our community.
So let's talk about the community, because I see you do a lot of prison work. Do y'all go back to schools? Y'all do a lot of things with the community. Can y'all tell people about what y'all do in the community and tell people how to get involved in that?
Okay, you can start.
Well, his organization investing in us. There are two portions of it. He'll tell you about the portion that he's more in tune with and what is his baby that he cultivates over there. On my side, we both do mentorship, but I bring that to the table. And the mentorship is very important to me because we realize as young children, we would have probably not done a lot of the things we've done if we just had someone that would just tell us that looked like us, what we were doing were wrong. You know what I'm saying? So we believe that giving back to the children is a very important thing. We believe in planting seeds because we like it to harvest and we like it to grow and be something successful in the community. So mentorship is in the schools. Mentorship is in the juvenile detention centers. Mentorship is throughout the community. We do it in different ways. We teach financial literacy. And we also teach at-risk youth the right and the wrong way to engage and have a conversation. When we grow up, we know about fighting. We know about knuckling down and dog walking bitches and doing all kinds of different stuff. We don't know about sitting down and letting them know, listen, you made me feel a certain way about what you said. And we need to come to terms with that because we need to coexist amongst each other. That's what it's all about, teaching them how to pretty much,
deal with their
coexist with
emotions.
each other. Deal with your emotions.
Deal with their emotions. Because like I said, everybody don't go home to somebody that's positive. Everybody don't go home to it. And you need to know how to cope with that and deal with that so you can stay productive in society. I always wanted to do that. That's another reason for I always want to talk to all my idols. And you guys are somebody I look up to from afar. And I don't know you guys at all. So I just want to keep that honest. So that's why I'm asking all these questions and things that I seriously want to do. So when you talk about mentorship, when you talk about the youth and educating them, and then I also read about your program that invest in minorities. Tell me about that.
Yeah, that's the portion that I pretty much handle. I focus on the community economics. So what we basically do is we fund minority-owned businesses because, as you know, the banking system isn't designed for us. So you have a lot of people that would be great entrepreneurs, but just aren't situated in a way to get those opportunities. So we create those opportunities for them. We also help people structure their businesses and turn their ideas into businesses. We also fund education, both locally and abroad, to give kids different opportunities and to learn that the world is bigger than the hood we come from. And hopefully that'll inspire them to do more.
When you see a troubled kid, man, and you see, and it's nothing that you can really do to help him. I mean, you can talk to him, you can be there for him. But like you see kids, some kids are in impossible situations. How do you deal with a kid with that? Like that? How do you talk to them? You see, like some kids might be dealing with that, drug addict families, crackheads, uncles touching them, and you know it's impossible when they go home at night.
It's in an impossible situation. I don't think he's impossible to reach. The reach is by taking him out of that situation. You know?
That's the solution.
But you can't take everybody.
You can't take everybody, but what I've learned is I want to tell, well, I've told many of them, I tell them what I want somebody to tell me at that age.
You got to be we wish we had.
And what would you tell them?
It depends on the situation. I've done with the gang activity with the girls. I wasn't in the gang, but I had come on, I was in a group of girls that was fighting. I went to 3 different high schools, for crying out loud. So obviously I had
high school?
Oh my God. It was terrible. It was terrible. So that's why I walk into schools and I go, listen, I know who you are. I know who you are and I know who you are. And you want the smoke, you really don't want the smoke, and you just need somebody to love you. So you come give me a hug, give me your number, and tell me who your father is so I can talk to him. I already know what it is. As soon as I get there, and they just be looking at me like, how you know? Because I see all 3 of y'all and one of me. I was the little monster.
And that's important. That's very important.
And that's how I get to them. I get to them because I can identify what I see in myself through them.
And you got to realize.
And then when they look at my current life, and that's another thing too, because a lot of mentors, they can tell you what to do, they can give you the resources, but a lot of these people don't want to do that. They want to see, I'm not listening to you. I want to listen to you if you where I need to be at right now. So when they see that you are actually moving and shaking, that's what's gonna catch a kid. Wait a minute, I want to be where she at. And she's telling me I don't need to go through what she went through, but I could get where she at. Let me go listen to her. So for girls, it's different.
A lot of people judge these kids and tell them what they shouldn't be doing, but don't offer them other opportunities or other forms of direction. That was what the problem with me coming up. That's what had me in the streets, because I saw what I wanted and I didn't see a reflection of that in my educators. My teachers weren't where I wanted to be. The people around me weren't where I wanted to be, so how could I listen to them? So I listened to what inspired me. We got to offer that same inspiration, but in a positive way, and show them other opportunities and other lanes to achieve what they want out of life.
Alternative.
Do that. Right.
So when you go in these schools, man, and a lot of times I feel like right now the school system with everything going, it's like a detachment. Do you go in there? Are you able to, see, like, do you feel like they need to make some changes with the school system right now?
Oh, absolutely.
And how to relate to these kids in the inner city, in the inner city hoods that we grew up in?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you like this, right? I don't even know where to start, because at the end of the day, I don't see that as education. That's indoctrination. So in the beginning, it doesn't represent us. And when I say us, I mean us as a black people. The things they're teaching us don't represent us. Don't bring out the best in us. Don't inspire us. Don't tell us who we are to make us want more out of life. It's designed to make us feel like we're actually somewhere already, based on starting our history with slavery. So we feel like somebody gave us something when we really come from kings and queens. And we are responsible for this country and what it has become as far as how it's been. They'll never tell us that. So just starting with that, the education is ass backwards. And as you go further, they're not really teaching life skills. They give you courses that are going to put you in categories to make you feel a certain way about yourself, or to set you up for the life they want you to have, to be a worker. You're not inspired. You don't open your mind to dream.
Yeah.
They're definitely not letting you dream.
Yeah. So it's not. Oh yeah.
I don't even like how the school system is set up, period. Look at it. Living in the projects, I always had the gates or the bars on my window, right? That went to me being comfortable with having to serve my time. It's like everything was indoctrinated in me. Between the roles in school and raising my hands with them tight-ass desks, that is the schools that they have in prison, down from the trays that you give me, the brown ugly shit, that's the trays that you give me in school. It's all a mind fuck. Everything from school to prison, and that's what we're here. We're here to kill the school. We're here to kill the school to prison pipeline. That's what we're here to do. That's what we came. We came to slay that shit. We're stopping it.
Being that we right now as parents, and what is important to teach your kids, being that they got to go to these schools. We do the best we can, and how important it is to keep education going when your kids come home from them schools.
Well, education is all the time because you should always be learning. So before school, after school, make sure they understand what it is that they're receiving while they're in school. Make sure they understand how it really applies to life as opposed to what they're telling them who they are and how it applies. It's very important. That's everything. You got to educate them because they're not educating them in school. They're not preparing you for the world. School is not preparing you for this world.
Well, that's the thing. How can we expect people to make complex money decisions without an education? That's why it's important for me to teach my son. We're teaching our children. We're like, wait a minute, you know, you're not learning financial literacy in school. And that's why, again, that's another focal point. We are going to teach that financial literacy and make sure that these kids know what's the difference between percentage and what's the difference between a guarantor and a guarantee and a mortgagee and a mortgagor, or borrowing against funds, or, you know, what we doing, cryptocurrencies and commodities and investment and all that. It's important because guess what? While they're learning in their family what a checkbook is and how to make sure you don't bounce it, we don't know nothing about that. We're finding out that later on in life, and it's a problem because we take that into us as we grow into adults and we become very irresponsible, financially ignorant, causing a chain of events.
What is financial literacy? What is financial literacy? What is crypto? What is these things
Understanding
you're talking
finances. Understanding finances, understanding how to put money to work. Because ultimately it's currency because it's supposed to stay in motion. You're not supposed to work to pay bills and save money for the future and live off of that money you save. You're supposed to put your money to work. Your money's supposed to grow. Money is a tool. It can either be used to build or destroy.
All right, so what's your saying? What's your viewpoint on money? What's your viewpoint on handling a dollar? When you coming in contact with money, what's your viewpoint on it?
First of all, fiat money, I don't have any view on it, but that's just one thing. But I mean, if you're talking about to have it and to, you know, to invest
Take care of it. Take care of it.
Yes.
Invest it. Money. We're trying to
invest
take care of money very well. So
money
I'm trying to see where your mind is at, so I can be with that mind.
Money is transactional. I tell people, let's not focus on the money because that's what they got you doing. They got you focused on the money. Everything is grind, grind, grind. Get money, get money, get money. Sounds good, right? But essentially everybody's making money to make them rich. You know why? Because you're focused on grinding and now you get this money and there's a bunch of advertisers, a bunch of things telling you what to do with the money, and you put it in different places making other people rich. Don't focus on the money, focus on your goal. Ask yourself where you want to be in life. And again, money is the tool. So you got to learn how to use those tools to get where you need to go. Money is solely transactional. You're buying freedom.
More importantly than your money is how you manage it. Manage it correctly. Manage it correctly. Because we know people that can make millions and do poor.
You got different types of personality. You got impulsive people. And how do you tell them? How do you get people and give them, you know, how do you teach people how to handle? I believe you can teach
But that's why I said focus on your goals. Because
that's what he said. That's the key thing.
Everybody's different. Right. And you know, like I know, you got too many people in the way out here. You know what? You got too many people in the way because everybody's looking at what somebody else is doing. Everybody's not about money. Everybody ain't supposed to be. Right. There's different tiers for a reason. There's got to be a work in it. In order for there to be a boss, there's got to be workers. Understand that. Understand yourself. Knowledge yourself. Ask yourself where you want to be. So you can't set your goals based on what somebody else is doing or what somebody else is at. That's not going to cut it. And that's why you got so many people in the way. That's why I say, look at where you want to be. Everybody having lots of money doesn't make them happy. I know people that have the basics that are happier than we'll ever be. And our ambitions make us have sleepless nights. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so how do you be based on your goal?
How do people, regular people, everyday people, the common folks, start a business? The LLC, how do you go from getting the LLC to making it a real business? Educate, just tell people about that. There's a lot of people with the PPP loans, and I want you to talk about that because I don't know anything about it.
First of all, let me just shout out to my husband. This is Wine and Wealth. This is what we do here. This is the entrepreneurship book. It's doing very well. and this is for people that aspire to be entrepreneurs. And in this book, you will find out the do's and don'ts, because at the end of the day, it's all about laws. There you go. And the back of that book that you have right there is the money management. So when you just said about money management, you can do your savings and your budgets back there. But as far as opening up a business and starting a business, first of all, you need to make sure you follow your state's guidelines. That's number one. A lot of people do open up businesses in different states, and it's not even the state that they should be opening up in. It's not their guideline. Second of all, before opening up a business, I always tell people, make sure that the name that you're using is not a name that is duplicated. It's important for you to use a name that is going to be something that you don't outgrow. Like, for example, I'm from South Jamaica, Queens. He's from South Jamaica, Queens. We're not going to call it South Jamaica, Queens Lawn Service. Because if I move to Atlanta, Georgia, I don't want people to say what you only good in South Jamaica, Queens. Be careful about your name. Be careful about how you market stuff. It's a lot of tips, just different things, but how you ultimately do it, you can go on the website, government website, go get you an EIN number. It's free. And then go pay like $2.99 to the, what is it, $300 to the state.
So he in his live. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to shout him out. He just jumped.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Shout out to your brother, but you can just, pay for the for your city and your state stuff, and they'll give it to you. It's easy. It's not a hard or difficult thing to do. But I'm more so focusing on the structure. You got LLP, LLC, Inc. You got Corp. Make sure it works for you. If you are not a partnership, you should not be at LLP. If you are a sole proprietor, that means that's you by yourself right now. You're trying to wing it out. You got to know the difference between 1040 and 1099, but that'll be something that I'll be sitting up here talking to you about all day. Again, go grab that Wine and Wealth, Entrepreneurship. It gives you everything you need to do to follow the guidelines so you can get yourself jammed up.
Go get that Wine and Wealth. Right.
Oh, I love that.
As always. As always. But so how many businesses you got right now? I know you call yourself a serial entrepreneur. Are you still serial?
6.
Right now, you still at it? All right, 6 right now. Name them. Can you name some just to put them out there? Be advertising.
Some of them we don't do. One thing that me and my husband has taught me, he said, less is more, speak less, do more. And I've been learning that with the social media platform, that not everything I need to put out there. But I'm telling you, we got logistics to hospitality, to anything that you could possibly think of, the smallest thing. We're working on a phenomenal big situation right now that we're not going to tell the world, and they probably won't find out, but it's big dog shit. It's big dog shit, and I mean that shit humbly. Yeah, we come from the mud. This shit is big. This is big. I'm sorry. It's big. I pat myself on the motherfucking back for that one. But hospitality, logistics, definitely real estate firm shit. You already know about Sunny Legal Realty. That's the public one, the one that more so helps the community with the real estate, litigation, and credit repair. And let's keep this real. Let's put this out here. I don't do credit repair, I do consumer litigation. There's a difference between a person that does credit repair and a person that does consumer litigation. I deal with the courts. Consumer litigators deal with the courts. Credit repair deals with paperwork, sending it on to your creditors and negotiating or telling them that it's not real or saying that it's fraud. I come up with defenses. That's why I went to John Jay College of Criminal Justice, and he's in the room with all the degrees that behind him. We got degrees and we come up with civil procedures and laws to make sure that we get those things off and permanently off.
Real quick, so when y'all guys are partners in life, y'all life partners, y'all talk about being in partners, being life. So how do you guys juggle having business and being partners? How do y'all separate the two? How can couples, what advice would you give couples trying to do the same thing?
Well, see, I'm going to tell you this, right? The business is legacy building. You hustle for your last name, not your first. So nothing going on personally should affect that. We could not even be speaking. When it's time to come to the table for business, we get back on it and we can go back to not speaking. It is what it is. At the end of the day.
And there's been moments like that.
Right. We building for generations.
Absolutely.
We building for generations. You see what I'm saying?
I feel you.
There's time and a place for everything.
So if y'all arguing, does it ever lead into the highly dysfunction? Does it ever lead into the business? not as far as the messing up the business, but let's say y'all on set and y'all doing what y'all got to do, and y'all have heated arguments.
It's two different arguments. We might argue about business. We might not.
We're not arguing. Yeah, we're not.
Well,
we
first
don't.
of all,
it's off the table.
You can't argue with her. She gonna win, so you can't argue with her. That's just off the rip.
Oh, so so you with the happy wife, happy life?
I digress. You can't win.
You can't win. So y'all both, you September 28th. That's when you was born, right? So you a Libra?
Yeah.
And y'all 2 weeks apart with you?
I'm a Virgo, September 5th.
Virgos are weird people. I got a few baby mamas that's Virgos, so I'm like, not for the men, for the women. My moon sign is Virgo, so I got really attached to that. They real critical. They real hard. They real smart.
The Virgo men are very ambitious, and I love that. I love that about him. He's ambitious, and he is a mastermind. I'm the executioner. He comes up with the plan. He architects it out. He passes me the baton, and I go fucking running.
So that's the yin and the yang you was talking about.
That's the formula. Yep.
And I just want to put this out there. So when you talk about the yin and the yang, when you talk about balance, it's not all about money and who paying the bills and who's paying that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's nowadays when you talk about the yin and the yang and who's going to do what, it's all about the money stress. All these people on the internet's arguing about the money structure, who's in control, and how do y'all deal with all of that? I got a lot of money, so and a lot of business. How do y'all deal with all that? And
you're buying freedom. None of that should even be a thing, right?
Yeah, we don't even talk about this shit.
If you look at our people, right, and we fall into this category too. We were raised in the struggle, so most relationships are helpmates. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's a backwards concept. Through time, we've grown out of that. But if your relationship is contingent upon how somebody can help you, it's not good. It's not a relationship. You should be self-sufficient. Two self-sufficient come together and build an empire. You see what I'm saying? That's why when people catch cases or find themselves in situations, that person was relying on them, and that pressure's too much. And you see what I'm saying? So really, you're here to build each other up, to fine-tune each other, but you should already be self-sufficient. So now, these things are not a factor. You're just building on things.
Yeah, because we always got to educate couples.
Our responsibilities, as far as our roles in the relationship, but there's no contingencies to that. You see what I'm saying? It's not, oh, I need a man that can do this or a woman that can do that. It's more of, I see the greatness in you, and I'm going to help you cultivate that and become that.
And that's beautiful. And that's beautiful. And like I said, I heard you talk about being able to be happy for your man, be happy, support him, be a cheerleader for him. And how important is that to be a cheerleader and rub each other's back, even if you don't benefit from that victory of your mate that you was talking about?
Oh, it's very important, because I saw myself at one time not championing my partner and seeing that what I was bringing to the table of just championing him was allowing him to digress from his own situation. And that's not cool. That's not cool. If you don't benefit from it, first of all, you do benefit from it. You're the spouse. Doesn't even matter. You benefit from it. It was just my ego of not wanting the certain title of that particular organization that he was running. It was my fault. My ego had got in the middle of it. But I'm glad that happened, because now as you progress and you learn and you get more businesses and you grow, you know not to do that anymore. But it is very important for you to rub your spouse back and tell him that he's doing a phenomenal job. But more importantly than all of that is asking him, where do you need me in place of this situation? What role do I need to play to make it the best that it needs to be?
Right, because I can go from from the CEO of one of my businesses to her personal assistant, carrying bags and running and getting coffee. And you got to be comfortable with that. You got to be comfortable with playing whatever role is required for the team to win.
Right.
You can't allow your ego to say, "Oh, nah, what? I'm this person. I can't do that. Nah, I can do all of that." And that's not even just with your partner in a relationship. That's in your team, period.
Correct.
And how do you, because you got a team, you hire a lot of people because you got a lot of employees, you got businesses. How do you look for the right person to hire? The right person. I'm not talking about as on the employee level. I remember talking about to bring them on a higher level as part of your team, whether they supervisors, you know what I'm saying, part of your inner
Let me ask you a
organization.
question. Let me ask you a question. Did a job ever come looking for you?
No, not ever.
You were looking for it, right?
Yeah.
The right people will find you. The right people will find. You know why? Because we go after what we want. You go looking for people and trying to grab people. You know what you're gonna find? Leeches. You're gonna find people that just occupying your time for money. Now, I used to always say relationships were more important than money, right? And all I got from that was a lot of people with their hand out. Seriously.
Yeah.
They gotta want it. You gotta, because you'll find you'll want it for people more than they want it for themselves. You will want people to be successful so bad, and they don't want to succeed. So they gotta take that step towards you. They gotta show that they want it. And when they show they want it, you see that fire in them.
That's when you step in.
And that's when you step in and you take them where they need to go.
Right.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So you do a lot of realty. So if somebody what type of market is out there? Is it a buyer's market? Is it a seller's market? And when would it be a buyer's market?
Oh, it's definitely a seller's market right now.
It's a seller's market.
So when do you think it's going to be a buyer's market? Anytime soon?
No time soon.
Probably another year or so.
The properties, everything from properties to the auto industry is insane right now. The prices are through the roof. It's definitely a seller's market.
And how can somebody...
You know it's the seller's market because all the properties we own, the equity is tripled. That's how you know. The equity is going up. The equity is going up a lot.
But you know what? A lot of it has to do with what's going on economically in this country. Everything from COVID.
And in the areas too, the gentrification.
Climate.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, in my 41 years of living, I've never seen a pandemic or a situation like this where they locked us down and they're pushing this vaccine and all this stuff that's going on. I've never lived this during my time. So this is, we're treading new waters. Just like, for example, right? If we go into another lockdown, I don't want to hear people complaining and crying. Because at the first time, we never experienced this shit. It's just like the crack era.
Right.
You give those who took crack because we didn't know what it did, right? Now that we know what it did, and you see all these young ass junkies running around, you look at them like, are you serious?
Yeah, the knowledge is out there.
I feel the same way about the pandemic. Or for anything, there's those who suffer from it and those who capitalize off of it. So now we know that this can happen. There are a lot of people that have businesses that never factored in whether or not they were essential or how they would run their business
based on
a lockdown.
If a catastrophe happens, something like this happened.
I tell you, for us, that definitely made me recalibrate everything to make it sustainable in the event that certain things took place. So again, like I said, these are different times we're in.
And what would you tell couples and families or anybody during this time, advice that you would give them in general, not to get in business, but what would you give them advice dealing with this pandemic and what you see for the future? You know what I'm saying? Picking your brain a little bit.
I'll go second. Go ahead.
Buy land, natural resources.
I don't gotta go.
And businesses, and businesses that operate themselves.
Essential.
What are businesses that run themselves? What do you mean?
Businesses that don't require you to babysit them.
Yeah.
That passive and that residual income. That residual income is the most important income for me. I like that money I make when I'm sleeping.
So it's the best type of money.
So passive income is the money you make when you're sleeping?
Residual income is the money.
All right. And which passive?
Passive and residual. Passive comes in too. Residual. Yeah. Listen, books. Our books. Look, people wanted royalties. We get royalties every month like clockwork. You get from your publishing company. Do you know how many people were wanting to read? It was in the house. They was suffering. They wanted to read. Look what happened. Me and my best friend birthed a journal, a manifestation journal. We created a journal in 2-3 weeks to make people tap into their chakras and get out of what was going on because the world was in a dark place.
And everybody's situation is different. Look at your situation and say, okay, look at your ecosystem. Look at where you live. Look at what your life consists of, and say, okay, in the best or worst of times, what's always going to be needed?
Money.
And look at what you can.
And guns.
God, Lord.
Right.
Money
Yes
and
or no.
guns.
Yes or no. I'm gonna tell you like this. How many times you use your gun this year?
None.
This
I'm
is my point.
not an easily raised gun guy though.
But this is what I'm saying. No. So when we talk about wealth, right? Unless you're gonna be a gun manufacturer, literally, like I said, look at things that you look what you were just rolling up. You know how much money is being made in the marijuana industry because of shit. People was locked down, they were smoking a lot more, wasn't they? You know what I'm saying? That person that was at work all day and spoke on their breaks, and when they got off, now they home all day and they smoking all day.
All day.
You get what I'm saying?
All my money.
So you got to look at the things that are required in your current situation, and that's where money's at. That's
a lot of people made a lot more money off the Lysol. People made a lot more money off the hand soap, the sanitizing, you know, plastic gloves. You just got to think about your situation. You got to jump on it real fast. And then the problem with us is that even though it's going on at that current time, we jump on it right then. But you need to think about the longevity of it, because at the end of the day, you're going to always need toilet paper. You're going to always need
how rich you think the man is who made those hookah tips?
Think about that. The hookah tips?
The tips for the hookah.
What you put for the hookah?
Yes.
What was the question?
How rich you think the man who made the hookah tips are?
He got to be real rich right now.
My point. But everybody overlooks those type of things. Everybody looks at
especially black people. We always go for the big thing. We don't look at stuff like that.
Yeah, we're looking at the hookah.
One of the most lucrative
businesses.
Yeah,
we're definitely looking at the hookah. Yeah,
not the mouthpiece for the hookah.
Right. One of the most lucrative businesses in the hood is a 99-cent store. Nobody looks at that. You never hear them getting robbed. Everything's $1. Who would rob them? But look at the profit margins, right? Look at the numbers. Where the car dealer selling a car for $30,000 and making $3,000 profit off of it. The dude in the 99-cent store is buying stuff for pennies on the dollar and selling it for hundreds of percent in profit. $5,000 get you 100 grand worth of inventory. You see what I'm saying? So these are things we got to start looking at. Look at where the money is at, not the visual effect.
So if you want, so I know you look for your investor now, but if you had a beginner as somebody that was looking to get into business, what would you tell him to do? What business would you tell him? How would he invest in? What would you tell him? What investment to get into if he's not passionate about it? If he just want to do business, somebody just looking to do business don't know what he want to invest in.
He's gonna crash. He's gonna crash. You can't. I just want to
work like that.
I just want to get. You know why?
How does it work?
That's when the swindlers come in. People see that.
People see that you just want to be a part of something and you want to just own a business. Find your purpose. Yeah, I always tell people all the time, your purpose and your paycheck, it goes straight. It's together. It's together. Nobody can run or smooth on you because you're so passionate in your craft that you watching some of the shit they doing. You picking up on it. Not that you paying attention to the books, but you know better. You're like, wait a minute, but I know because I love to do this, that just like if I'm a public speaker, and I know damn well I get paid $5,000 to public speak, but I'm so passionate about doing it for free and doing it to just talk to everybody that I'm getting so caught up in doing what I'm doing, but I'm not getting paid for it. Don't ever get so caught up in doing what you want to do that you feel like you can't get paid for it. That is robbery. The universe and God has given you a gift. You have the right to tap into that and charge somebody for it. So, like he said, you'll crash. So if your paycheck and your passion and your purpose is not tied together, at least 25% of it, it's not gonna go. I say 50% of it has to be all together. He might disagree with me, but it has to.
If you're relying on somebody else's passion to move your money, then you at their mercy. You know, bad investments I've made in the early years of investing based on somebody selling me a dream.
That's a fact.
You learn how to turn other people's dreams and visions into money because you have a passion for growing the dollar.
Right. I get it. So what if I wanted to start a business, what are 5 things you tell somebody He's already passionate. He's passionate about what he want to do. What are 5 things you would tell him when he first stepping out? Rookie.
If you do seek a business partner, make sure that you guys have the same vision. And when I mean the same vision, I mean you might want to take your business, have it temporarily, and then pass it on to the family. They might want to do that shit forever. Make sure that you two are in alignment with whatever it is that it is. The goal has to be the goal. Do not lose, don't lose focus on the goal, because then the business might stray. It might dissolve based on the fact that you guys don't have the same ultimate goal. And the goal for me, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Excuse me. No, I want to touch on what she said. I want to touch on what she said. I know we said 5 tips, but I just want to elaborate on that a little more. What happens is we lose a lot of time because we can't work as a team. You got a lot of people trying to take the go plates. You know what I'm saying? And people I've experienced where dudes will actually resent you because they feel like you don't want to see them eat or you don't want to put them on. But no, you see that they actually don't want to be on. They see you eating and they want to take from what you're building to go over there and build something with other people.
Right. I had that happen to me a few times.
Right. They want to take the go plate. And that can even be worked out. What I tell people is I never, ever, and quote me on this, sat at a table I don't bring nothing to. As a good man, I'm never comfortable asking for anything for free.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
Me neither.
Anytime, if I come to you with something, I'm going to not only tell you, obviously, what I stand to gain from it, but how it benefits you as well. People are too comfortable coming to you for things that don't benefit you at all. So, and that's what happens when I say taking it to go play. People will come to you and ask you to do shit for them that don't benefit you at all. And if you over here, that's how you become MC Hammer. That's how you become broke. Then everybody looking at you like you stupid. You see what I'm saying?
I love it.
So business partnership, make sure y'all in alignment and y'all have that understanding.
I got it. You need to be coming to me telling me how doing this for you will benefit me. Because when you go to the bank, that's how they gonna make sure their interest is attached.
Another important
thing,
protect your interests. Another important thing is make sure everybody is delegated with their roles. When you start a business, it's important that if you do have a business partner or you do have a team, make sure that it's on writing that everybody knows what their roles are. So that listen, we can all do each other's role, but make sure that your main role, your priority role is the role you need to take care of. So like if in a music business, you're the CEO, but you're also the mastermind, you have to be the one to do that. If you're the one that's doing the graphics and you're handling that, do that. Please don't be over here worrying about the accounting. Please don't be over here worrying about this if that's not a part of what you need to be worried about. Stay in that field. And I say that wholeheartedly because I see people come out of what they were supposed to do and they're worrying about the other thing and then they have the other thing falling apart. So it's important that you allocate roles. And if you have to put that in writing, a business plan is very important. We just get LLCs, we put shit together, we make it happen, and nobody's really looking at the day-to-day duties of the job. You lose.
I feel you. I'm hearing. I'm listening. It's beautiful.
I'm thinking of everything else because I'm thinking of all the shit that we might have fucked up with. That's what I'm giving you, all of that. Like anything we might have messed up with.
What was one of your big mistakes that you wish never happened, and it was, just something that you can tell people that you went and made a big mistake, a bad investment, or something?
Oh, there's so many.
Oh my God.
And if I'm being honest, I wouldn't even know where to begin because when people see, that's like life is like Instagram. People see the good edits, so they only see the wins, right? They see 6 successful businesses. They don't see the 100 it took to learn how to be a successful business person. The wisdom of running a business successfully comes from all the failures, not from the wins. That's
but babe, you being humble right here. Let me tell you something. I remember him taking me away on my birthday. I'll never forget. It was 2009. He took me away to the Bahamas. Had a great time. Right before we left, he had just closed on his cab stand. It was beautiful. It was right there in South Jamaica, Queens. We were gonna come back. We were gonna, he had the dispatches. He paid for it. Everything was done. It was ready. Do you know when we came back?
The business burned down.
It burnt down.
See what I'm saying? But I don't consider that a bad investment. That was for me.
No. I'm not saying it's a bad investment. I'm just explaining to him about.
But that's not even a mistake I regret. That was part of the process. I believe that you're tested to see how bad you want it. You know?
Well, you need to tell them about the tested stuff too, because that's important. Because a lot of people are going to go through things like you went through, and they're going to say, "Fuck this shit," and throw in a white flag. Right. You need to tell them there are a lot of things that we went through, whether it was through mistake, through the universe, or through it testing his faith. You got to muster it up, keep it going.
See, for us, we don't have a choice, right? And I'm gonna tell you why. I got 2 felonies in a GED. I don't have a formal education. I'm self-taught. So to achieve what I achieved, I had to grind for it. I had to teach myself. I had to tell myself I wanted. There was no the way I was situated at the time on paper. Wasn't nobody gonna give me shit. And based on those credentials, they say I belong down here.
Right.
But what's in here and what's in here told me I belong up here. So I had to show them that I was worth what's up here. And now they throw money at me because they like what I do with my money, so they want me to do the same with theirs.
And I love to see it.
Good shit.
All right, so we almost out the door. So what is generational wealth? When somebody say generational wealth, what does that mean?
That means right now we hustling for our grandkids, and then we'll be hustling for their kids because our kids is all straight. So generational wealth is that money that's going to be here, those assets that are going to be here long after you're here. Things that carry the name and carry you long after you're there to work on them.
That's right.
So, looking back on things, what do you want your legacy to be remembered as? How do you see yourself now? After everything you've been through, everything you overcame, the jails, the felonies, to be where you sitting at today, how do you look at yourself? How do you feel about your legacy? How do you see yourself? You can put it in the words.
Let me tell you this, right?
That's a good question.
When you go to a funeral, right? Nobody talks about how you dressed or what you drove or how much money you was getting. They speak on the impact you had on their life.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's your legacy. Your legacy is how you impact people, how you impact your community. That's your legacy. That's right. So my thing is to make the strongest and most positive impact. I want to create conditions that result in Black privilege. And that's what I want my legacy to be.
That's right.
What about you, Sonny? How you see your life at this point?
I see my life as from pain to purpose. But like he said, at the funeral, they're not going to be talking about the cars and the furs and what you was doing and how you was moving around. They're going to talk about what impact did that young lady leave on me. She made me go hard. I was a girl from the projects, and she made me believe that it could be me. I want you to feel me when you know, impactful. That's it. It's all about impact. Because long after you go, the only thing that they're going to talk about is the stories and how you made them feel. Point blank. Change.
Well, shout out to the real.
Absolutely. Shout out to the real. Highly dysfunctional. We appreciate
Shout out to the real. Highly dysfunctional. We appreciate you, King. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to the real. Highly dysfunctional. Sunny Money. H. WARBUCKS. That's what you wanted me to do. Yeah.
That's right. You already know.
Thank y'all for coming. I appreciate y'all for coming. Go get Wine and Wealth. Go follow them everywhere.
Academy, we just came out with our online school. It's important that we teach people financial literacy. If you feel like you need to learn trades or anything that's going to help people navigate through financial woes, go get you some trades and go learn you some stuff. WineandWealthAcademy.com.
Thank you.
We came to shut it down. I'm like. We came to shut it down. I'm like. We came to shut it down. Nah, I don't need no help.